I was watching these storms last night, and quite literally went from nothing to a little after 8 o'clock. We had about 8 tornado polygons across parts of the shoals, the Tennessee Valley. James, the video was incredible.
Yeah, this was a rough night last night for our friends up in extreme North Alabama, areas really along and north of the Tennessee River. And of course, it started in Tennessee. This is some video from Prospect, Tennessee, right above the Alabama-Tennessee state line, and this was before the sun went down. And of course, as the storms moved into the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama, we lost the daylight, but again, you could still see some of these isolated tornadoes. This was a tornado near Coxey Creek. This is southwest of Athens, and that came through the Brigadoon subdivision, causing some pretty major damage there. We had some pretty scary moments over on the eastern part of the Tennessee Valley. This is video taken from section looking down towards Scottsboro. And there was strong evidence of rotation and a potential tornado coming through Scottsboro at that point. Know there were some trees and lines down. Don't know the extent of the damage. In fact, for a lot of folks up here, we won't know the damage until we get the first light of day, which, of course, is beginning to happen right now. This is actually some of the video from Scottsboro as the storm came through. And I do know for a fact we had some damage in the city of Huntsville. This is some video from a person that was driving east of downtown Huntsville, mostly down trees and power lines. Again, this is some of the video from downtown, or images coming from downtown Huntsville last night. That's a fairly large tree down. And I'd say the most violent storm of the night up there was this one. This was captured to about 11:09 last night. You can see that intense velocity couplet in the donut hole and the reflectivity. This was near Henniger. This is in northern DeKalb County, which is north of Fort Payne, north of Sylvania. And I know there's been a lot of damage with that tornado, and I've read reports of injuries with that. But again, I don't have the specific details at this point, but certainly a very rough night last night. And, of course, we'll have the chance of the 2 rounds of storms, Evan, like you've talked about today. But after that dry weekend, we're going to see more rain next week. And I wanted to show this and close with this. This is the rain for the next 7 days. And some really impressive numbers for South Alabama and even North Alabama. Rain amounts over 4 inches to the south, 2 inches for Birmingham, 1 inch for the Tennessee Valley. So after a break in the weekend for the terms of the rain, Evan, we'll see more in here next week. Back over to you.
All right, thank you, James. Here's a look at the timing of some of those storms here today. And this is a tough thing to really time out in the sense that these storms are moving off to the east with a little bit of a southerly trajectory to them. So until 8 o'clock for a lot of our northernmost counties north of that line, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., and that's for a big chunk of central Alabama, including the Birmingham area, suburbs like Hoover, Pelham, Alabaster, as well as Hueytown. And then you look at the tornado watch that we do have included now. They've extended that even further south to include Clay County, Talladega County. If you just got the push alert for Hoover, you might be on the Shelby County side or very close to it based off of location. They've included Shelby County in that as well, Tuscaloosa County, as well as Pickens County. So all of those locations just recently added to this tornado watch that goes until later on this morning. As far as anything tornadic, not seeing it at the moment. We are looking at widespread thunderstorms. These are swinging out of northern Mississippi. Is becoming into northwest Alabama. No warnings along this. We have one severe thunderstorm warning polygon here. This is just to the south of Fort Payne as you look at center, parts of Cherokee County here. If you live along Weiss Lake, this will be here within the hour. And, lots of lightning with this, even though I haven't necessarily seen anything of too strong, anything of severity along the lead edge. Certainly that potential is there for some gusty winds and some hail. A little bit further to the south, it's just rain here in Chilton County as well as Coosa County. In fact, no lightning strikes, what we're seeing here. This is now just pushing to the east of Campbell. This is coming up along I-65, Lomax, Clanton, and eventually this will head over towards Lake Martin over the next hour or so. Let's go to our future view now. Move this ahead here this morning. We do expect with the sunrise, maybe a fanning out, redevelopment of showers and thunderstorms here later on this morning. As we get into the afternoon, we might see a lull in the action, a break in the storms. And if the sun comes out, a second round of strong thunderstorms later on today. We could see a redevelopment along a frontal boundary. Let's go now to 7 o'clock. You have a cold front stretching across parts of the southeast. This would give you your dynamic support if we have the energy to sustain strong to severe thunderstorms. At 11 o'clock, looking at thunderstorms developing back across the Mississippi River Valley. And then as we get towards early Friday morning, a line of thunderstorms moving through central Alabama. These would carry with them a gusty wind, hail, as well as a tornado threat here moving forward through early Friday morning. By the afternoon, things improve greatly, and that takes us into Mother's Day weekend. So we have a lower chance of tornadoes. Haven't seen anything just yet that makes me think this is a big tornado threat. However, there is a tornado watch. There's just no warnings. There's nothing imminent of tornadoes happening here in the short term. Hail and wind are certainly a possibility. We're going to get the sounding data here in that atmospheric profile showing us what sort of shear we're working with here today to see if that tornado threat will be increasing as we go throughout the morning hours. And with these moving fairly quickly, and since we didn't have initial batches of rain yesterday here in the Birmingham metro, I don't expect flooding to be a big issue. We'll keep an eye on that, though. But as James mentioned, Mother's Day weekend looks great. We're much cooler, we're drier, lows in the 50s with highs just shy of 80.